Hello and welcome back to episode 25 of our non-league to legends series, where we start in non-league football and attempt to go on and win the Champions League. We've just finished up with our first half a season with Nottingham Forest, and today we're going to have a look at the season review and have a look at how we build the team ready for next season and ambitiously challenging for the playoff positions. Straight away, if we come over to the inbox, it's literally been, as we can see, half a day. It's been about 12 hours or so in-game time since we finished the last episode, and we are presented with obviously all of the end of season emails. We're going to have a quick read through them with our best 11 season review expectation meeting. Hopefully, as we can see, actually I can see it already, there's an email there with the initial budgets as well. Before we do jump into that though, if you do enjoy today's episode, if you are excited for our first full season with Nottingham Forest and looking forward to that one, please do drop a like down below the video. It does really help out the channel, helps with the YouTube algorithm and all of that lovely stuff. So if you could do that, it'd be very much appreciated. Pop down there now and put one of these on the video. But now though, let's have a quick look at what our best 11 and all of that lovely end of season stuff consists of. So we've got this season's best 11. So our best 11 according to this, we've got Brad Collins in goal, Max Lowe, who I think I seem to remember, yeah, he played at Derby County. He's apparently our best left back. He was here on loan for and the season in the 21-22 season. We then got Joe Worrell and Scott McKenna both still at the club. Jose Tutu I just mentioned, Yates and Ojeda in midfield. It's got Joe Lolly out on the left as well. He's only just left this season and gone to Bristol City. Then it's got Luke Freeman in the middle, Brennan Johnson out on the right, and Broja from this season up front. I don't know if that's slightly concerning that our best striker only scored 15 goals in 40 appearances, potentially. And then substitutes of Bryce Samba, who was Congolese goalkeeper up until a couple of seasons ago. He doesn't look too bad, to be fair. Oh, Figueiredo, I've played with him at some point. I can't remember where I signed him at. Might have been in myself, I'd say a couple of FMs ago potentially. Barry Douglas, who is still at the club and listed to leave it, named amongst the substitutes. Philip Zinkernagel, I want to say that is, who is currently plying his trade out at Watford. I mean, I say currently, he was on loan here from Watford rather than ever being a full-time player. Cafu is still here. James Garner, I didn't realise was on loan at Nottingham Forest. He just came up on my scout report, and it looks like when he was here, he was quite successful. So maybe someone we need to have a proper look at then, James Garner. Let's have a quick look at you. Obviously, we're still scouting him at the moment. That's not outside the realms of possibility that James Garner could be a player that we have a look at bringing in full time. I mean, he's really not playing any football at Man United, so it might be that he does want to join us. And then Balogun as well. And let me know down in the comments below so I don't have to go look. Was this a real life signing? Was he actually at Nottingham Forest in real life on loan? If he was, how does he do? Or I guess, how is he doing? Because this would be in real life right now. But Balogun, another one I am quite a big fan of, so I would actually love to bring him to the club. I feel like that 30 million to 38 million might be less in the realms of possibility compared to James Garner though. Our initial budgets then, it's not fantastic. It's basically exactly what we had last season. We got 425,000 as our wage budget and just over a 1.1 million as our transfer budget. We say this, but they've given us a wage budget that means we're already overspending on our wage budget. So we're already overspending by about £3,000 because, as we can see, we've already committed to a couple of signings, which I will show you in just a second. But that does not leave us a lot of money to play with in the transfer market, and I think it is very much going to have to be sell to buy. We know we've got a couple of players that do want to be leaving anyway, so potentially we can do that. These are the couple of players that I am bringing in. They're both coming in on a free. We've got them as end of contract signings. First one up is Julian Mason. He's currently, I believe, at Lyon. Yeah, he's currently at Lyon in the French league. He's not playing a lot of football. When he's been playing for Lyon 2, which I assume is their B team, he has been playing quite well. We've managed to get him on a free. We'd probably be playing as a ball-winning midfielder, I'd imagine, but equally he's pretty decent as a box-to-box, and he's very much coming in again as a bit of a depth player, but someone who I think will do okay in our league. And then we've got Alex Milan, who's an inverted winger. As we can see, he's got potential to grow a little bit. He will come in as our best left winger. We are playing with a winger over there at the moment, and he does want to play as an inside forward, however, which is not ideal. But as we can see, he is also quite adept as a pressing forward with 14 finishing and some decent pace. He might be that he's the answer to our issues up front. Just having a look how he's done this season: 37 appearances and 14 goals for Villarreal B. When he played for Reims in the top flight of French football, he scored 7 in 28. So maybe he could come and score some goals. It's something we'll probably have to have a proper look at once he is here. So we've got the club vision and expectations meeting. This is what they want from us this season. This has changed because we literally looked at it at the end of last season or last episode. If you haven't watched that, go back, have a quick look. I'm 99% sure this has changed. It's got develop players using the club's youth system and sign players under the age of 20 for the future. I believe that top one was in there. That second one wasn't. We've got work within the age budget. Sign players to sell for profit wasn't in there either. And they now want a top half finish, whereas before it said work towards reaching the Sky Bet Championship playoffs. So that seems to have been pushed back a year. We'll just accept that one. We'll have our quick end of season meeting as well, where we tell the team we want a mid-table finish. Which one's the option for that? They want us to be ambitious. I am absolutely fine with that, guys. If you think I'm being too cautious, I'll admit it wrong. Let's aim for the playoffs. They want to aim for the playoffs. Do you know what, guys? I would be happy to aim for the playoffs. The only reason I didn't say that is I've always found in FM, whenever you put something like that, like you can win the league and go, hey guys, we won the league last season, I just like a top half finish. And they go, you joking? You joking, boss? We're going to get relegated. What are you talking about? And it's always been one that's been a bit annoying. So maybe it looks like they have potentially fixed that. This is what we're saying is our best team. I'm going to completely ignore it because I disagree quite strongly with most of that. Whoever gave me that report, as far as I can see, needs to be fired. Squad depth, then, this is what we're looking like. I kind of take all of this with a bit of a pinch of salt as well. We'll get rid of those. Let's put minimum ability of 3 stars and have a look what that gives us. It gives us 2 goalkeepers in Brad Collins and Colin Ward. Brad Collins was the player who was playing most towards the end of the season for us. 41 appearances and 53 conceded, though. Really not a fantastic record. We've then got Callum Ward, who I brought in myself last season. 5 appearances, 7 conceded. It's not fantastic either. I guess it's not one we need to strengthen right now, but if we do see a really solid goalkeeper for a really solid price, then it is one we would like, I guess, to improve. Over on the left, then we've got Williams and we've got Sorensen, who can also play there. But I think maybe we do need another left back as either an improvement on or a deputy to Jeffro Williams as well. Because although Sorensen can play them, he is going to have to be our centre back. We've got Joe Worrell and Scott McKenna here. I did say a couple of episodes, both of them want to leave. Both of them have been promised that they will leave. So ignore we've got them for a minute, and that gives us Dion Sanderson and Beck Sorensen. So we are going to need a couple of centre backs as well. Over on this side, we've got Moray and Fonseca. So on the right back position, we're probably okay for a moment. Defensive midfielder position, then we've got Yates, Cafu and Ojeda that can play there. The problem is we are playing 3 of them. Between those 3 positions, that only leaves us 1 player spare. So we have got Mason coming in. That's going to be a 5th player for us. Maybe we could do with 1 more in midfield, or at looking at some of the youth players that are coming back to see if we can maybe strengthen those areas a bit. Left hand side, then Johnson will always play on the right, so ignore him. But we have got Freeman, Aspria, and we've got our new boy from Villarreal coming in. So I think we're okay on the left side. Right hand side, we've got Johnson that can play it over there. Burke can also play over that side. Broja obviously won't be here, but we've got a couple on that right hand side, so we're probably fine there as well. And then although he's not here because I've put it 3 stars, Del Taylor will be there up front for us unless we find someone who is a big improvement on him. End of season review then. How do we do? New arrivals. We've got Dion Sanderson. The board are very pleased with that. He's come in. 3.5 million, one of our signings, 18 appearances, 3 as substitute, 7.26 rating. He's been very, very successful. Our other centre-back signing, Sorensen, 14 appearances, 1 goal, which was in the last episode, and a 7.14 rating. Also turned out to be quite successful in that centre-back partnership with Dion Sanderson. Aspria, obviously, as a loan signing, 8 goals and 5 assists in 35 games. Not fantastic, but he was definitely growing towards the end of the season. So he could be someone that we look towards and hope that he improves as the seasons go on. We've got him on loan again for the upcoming season. He had quite a successful season, really, I think. Moray as well, another player we bought in, 1.3 million and a 7.04 rating. He managed to get 5 assists in his 13 appearances, which I think 5 assists in 13 is probably quite a good return, really. Hopefully he can improve on that next season, be very consistent for us. Obviously Broja is here and we got here. He's got a good rating. 33 appearances and 16 goals, I guess isn't too bad. Z Lewis was signed before we got here, never really got going. He is actually leaving this season as well. Gojak then, 21 appearances for us, 3 goals and 4 assists. None of these are particularly brilliant, to be fair. We've got Ergus came in this season, Fonseca came in this season, Luke Freeman was signed this season, Jeffro Williams, Callum Ward I think was our signing. Callum Ward was our signing. £500,000, as we can see, 5 appearances, and I think we said that he conceded 7. Maybe he's one that we do start as our first choice goalkeeper going forward. And then we've got Benjamin Otterson, who I said when I signed him was only ever going to be a very, very, very depth player. And it's a starting appearance for him, so we never really had the time to make much of an impact. It's saying here we suffered a disappointing campaign, but obviously that, as it was pointing out, largely due to a poor run of form around September, which is before we got to the club. So I don't think we can take full responsibility for that. 83% of our stadium being filled out, we could do with improving that, which I think does come with results. Obviously we've got a 14th place finish. We weren't too far away from being maybe 12th or so. We weren't miles. I mean, if we're looking at it, we were I guess 7 points off of 11th. We weren't miles away from getting up into the playoff positions. I think it would take a lot of work, but we're looking at gaining 20 points a season. I mean, if you look at last season, 14 wins, 17 draws, 15 losses. We can convert some of those draws into wins and some of those losses into draws, then I think we'd be doing all right, to be honest. We definitely had a better end to the season when you have a look at these results here, once we found our feet and our formation a bit. So I am a bit more confident for next season. Not always relevant, these ones. Biggest win, 3-0 win against Reading. We also had a 3-0 win against Cardiff, I think it was. Match to remember. Actually, here it is, the 3-0 win against Cardiff that I just mentioned, which was after we got here. And then goal of the season, a goal from Broja in the FA Cup, which we have already actually seen on the channel. Club reputation has remained the same then. Sponsorship has gone up. Broadcast revenue's gone down, probably because no one wants to show us on TV, because we were absolutely awful at points in the season. Corporate and hospitality has improved. We got absolutely no competition prize money this season, and matchday commercial and retail is a bit of improvement. Players selling shirts particularly well are McKenna, Goyak, Burke, Johnson and Williams, which, yeah, that kind of sounds a bit right. This is what we're saying is our best lineup of the season. So it's Collins in goal, back four, Williams, Worrell, McKenna, Fonseca, Ojeda and Yates in midfield, Aspria, Freeman and Johnson as a front three behind Broja. Again, yeah, but we weren't playing with a 4-2-3-1 by the end of it, so not necessarily relevant. Other than that, though, Broja up front, Aspria, Johnson on the right, probably reasonable. I'd say maybe Ojeda being changed out for either Cafu or Goyak would make more sense, and that back four, I guess was probably the one we played with most in the season, not the one we ended with though. Fans player of the season then is Scott McKenna. Young player of the season is Aspria, which is good. He's back next season. Signing of the season is Dion Sanderson, so one of our signings. Goal of the season for Broja. Top goal scorer for Broja with 16 goals. Ryan Yates, most assists with 7, something we definitely need to improve next season. Del Taylor with the most player of the match awards with 3. Joe Warrell's got the highest average rating with 7.1, and Dion Sanderson completes the most passes, which is always a bit of a weird one, I think. And Broja with 16 goals is the most goals scored by a player in a season. We need to become a bit more of an attacking outfit next season, because I don't think that is enough goals in a season for my liking. So I guess very much now it's go away, do some transfers, and I'll come back when something interesting happens. Well, that was an interesting transfer window. We've got a new senior affiliate. After demanding that from the board a couple of times, we now are affiliated with Chelsea in the Premier League, which is quite good for us because it does mean we are getting signings where normally we don't have to pay any sort of wages, transfer fee, nothing, and they do have quite a good youth system, so it is useful to have a link with them. Secondly, we've made the club's biggest ever signing. We're going to walk through the transfers now. We'll have a look at the business we have done in this summer transfer window. So first off, we've brought in a goalkeeper, which is Mickey van der Haar. I'd been scouting him throughout the season as well. He does look quite decent, as well as the fact that in Poland last season with 21 appearances, he only conceded 12 and had 10 clean sheets. So I think he could be quite a good player for us. On the outs column, one of the reasons that we brought in that goalkeeper is because Brad Collins has gone to Burnley. Burnley, I believe, are up in the Premier Division. Yes, they are. He's gone over for 5.75 million, and we've replaced him with Van der Vaart at the cost of 1.4 million, so making a nice profit on that deal. Robert Ergus is also gone. He's gone over to Nacional for 32,000. He joined us last season for 46,000, so we have made a loss, but he wasn't really good enough for the side and was just taking up wage budget, as was Nathaniel Klein, who's gone to Notts County down in Sky Bet League 2. He was just there earning an obscene wage. I've no idea why Nottingham Forest have signed him in this. He's played 1 game for us. It's an obscene cost, but again, as it was as well, his contract was running out, so getting £10,000 for him when we could have got nothing, I guess, is a good deal. The outs on this side, there are a few, so we're just going to kind of pick out the main ones. There's lots of players gone out on loan, depending if I think they've got a future at the club or not. Embasso has obviously gone to Hanover now on a free after not signing a contract with us. Alex Ackers was 20-year-old goalkeeper. He's gone on a free. We've also got Z Lewis, who's obviously gone over to I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, but he's gone somewhere in Russia for 1.7 million. Scott McKenna now gone. As we've said, he wanted to go in the summer and we promised him he could do so. He's gone over to Parma in Italy. We got 7.5 million pound for him, so making a profit on him. And then Joe Worrell has gone to Levante for 10 million pound, obviously being with the club since he began football, but said he wanted to leave and followed the money rather than sticking with the club he'd been with forever, where he was club captain. But we've had to go out and replace those players. This is another thing that happened. This is also record transfer income for the club in one season, currently standing at 19.25 million. Obviously we made a little bit here as well, but 19.25 million, I would imagine we will get some more throughout the season as well. And then over here, I've done what I feel is some good business. We've got 6 or 7 players come in here. Levy Colwill helping us out with our central defence problem. He can also cover at left back. He's coming from Chelsea on loan as part of that senior affiliate deal. At the moment, he's only here till January. We can probably expend that come January if we need to, and we aren't paying anything for his wages. He's one of the better options at centre back, and he can fill in at left back as well, which helps us with the depth options we were suffering with a little bit towards the end of last season. We've also got Alex Milan, who I already showed you, who's coming from Villarreal on a free. Alex Milan can play anything across those attacking three there. He can also fill in at the pressing forward position with 14 finishing. We've got Deschamps Bernard. He's also coming on a free, so you can kind of see what our transfer policy was this season, which was to get players in on a free that we thought could do a job for us. He has the potential to grow a little bit into a better player. Maybe we can sell him on and make a profit on him if we have to, but for the moment he's coming in as our 3rd/4th choice centre back and is going to be a bit of a squad player. We've then got another free transfer coming from Manchester United as well, which is James Garner. He's mostly, I think, going to be playing as an advanced playmaker in that centre position, and he's pretty good at most of it. His dribbling is the only thing that kind of lets him down a little bit, but at the moment, if we're looking at his report, good Sky Bet Championship player, has potential to be a good Premier Division player, I think, for someone we've got, and we've not paid any transfer fee for. We've made a pretty decent choice there. You know, considered to be a smart player. He's a fairly consistent performer. Determined attitude, works well within a team. He looks like he definitely could be a good player for us, and we've spent no transfer money on him, so why not? Benjamin Otterson, who was with us last season, has come back in. We've managed to snap him up as a bit of a squad option in defensive midfield, 825,000, but again, huge potential here to become a star in our save, and we did need another option in defensive midfield. And then the club record signing, Pietro Pellegrini. We've signed him from Monaco for 15.5 million. Now that 15.5 million is not anything. We haven't paid all of that up front. It's very much, I think we paid like 2 million up front, and the other 13 million or so is if buts and maybes on the old never never, so we might never play that amount. He played for Monaco last season, got 3 goals in 4 appearances. The season before that, as we can see on loan at Standard, he got 6 goals in 4 appearances. So far in pre-season, if it lets us have a look down here, you guys might not be quite able to see it because of my head, but he's had 5 appearances in the pre-season friendlies, scored 7 goals, got 2 assists. It's quite good. I think this, when I was saying in the last couple of episodes that we were missing a striker, we've now got 2 relatively good ones. Pietro Pellegrini obviously going to be our first choice striker given the amount of money we've paid for him, but 14 finishing, 13 first touch, because he actually wants to play as a target forward, not that we're going to be paying with that. He's pretty good heading, he's got really good jumping reach as well. He's got bravery of 16, off the ball is 15, teamwork's 14. He's definitely going to be one that's going to lead the line, and I think has a good shout this season. If he stays injury free, which could be the only thing that would let him down this season, I think he has a good chance to go out and get the golden boot for us this season. For us, by which I mean in the Sky Bet Championship in its entirety. As is, we now going to turn our attention towards the new season. We've done all of the summer transfer window. I mean, we've obviously still got to get to deadline day, but I don't think we're going to do a lot more business. By that time, we would have played quite a few games as well. But we've got newly promoted Coventry in our first game of the new season. We then got Fleetwood in the Carabao Cup and Rotherham in the Sky Bet Championship as well. So we'll probably come back and see those games against Coventry, and then either Fleetwood or Rotherham, depending how we're feeling. Let me know down below, comment down there where you think we're finishing in the league this season. I cannot see we'll be changing clubs. I think we'll be with Nottingham Forest for a few seasons yet. Where do you think we're going to finish in the league this season with the signings? And with that, that'll be it for today's episode. We're going to come back with the match against Coventry right at the start of the next episode. As always, if you have enjoyed today's episode, please do hit the like button below the video. It really helps the channel out, especially with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, while you're down there, why not subscribe to the channel? It is completely free, and you can just hit the little subscribe button and the notification bell, and YouTube will let you know every time we upload anything on the channel, and you can follow along with the non-league to legend journey. Until next time though, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you over in the next episode for our first match against Coventry.